Federal Executive Council approves joint venture company to supply 15% of vaccines to Nigerians. National Human Rights Commission awards monetary compensation to victims of human rights violations. Director General APC Presidential Campaign Council receives wife of APC presidential candidate and wife of running mate at the Tinubu campaign headquarters in Abuja. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 here on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja, the nation's capital city. I am Anne Jibuno. Thanks for joining us. Bio-Vaccine Nigeria Limited is to collaborate with Serum Institute of India, the world's largest manufacturer of vaccines, in the establishment of a vaccine manufacturing plant in Ota, Ogun State. When operational, the joint venture company is to supply 15% of the vaccines normally supplied by UNICEF to Nigeria. Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Ehanire, told journalists that the approval was granted by the Federal Executive Council at its hybrid meeting this Wednesday. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo's report will be brought a bit later in the bulletin. Our President Muhammadu Buhari is likely to present the 2023 budget proposal within the first week of October 2022. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, stated this while inspecting ongoing renovation of key areas of the National Assembly complex.
I'm hoping that the budget will be presented latest by first week of October.
The ongoing renovation, he added, is to ensure that the chambers used by the legislators match international best standards. The renovation is expected to be completed by August 2023 for use by lawmakers in the 10th Assembly. Meanwhile, plenary proceedings will hold in the committee room 028 upon reconvening of plenary next week after the annual recess. The Speaker also inspected the office complex for National Assembly Service Commission under construction. The National Human Rights Commission has awarded monetary compensation to victims of human rights violations. Over 231 million naira was paid as compensation to 74 beneficiaries and victims of human rights violations.
The mandate of this commission, the Human Rights Commission, is to make sure that the rights of all of us here are protected. We know various governments in the past have done their best to protect, to promote the rights of Nigerians. However, we think that this time around, we want to elevate the level of protection of human rights. What we are doing here today is history.
This compensation cannot bring back my brother. But it's a kind of victory.
I appreciate this panel that today this matter is coming to an end. Even though whatever amount that is given there cannot really do anything, because my character and person, that of my family, friends, was really damaged. I was paraded like to be called an armed robber and published on the national dailies, which prompted me to approach the courts.
This brings to over 431,884,000 naira, the total sum already paid to 94 beneficiaries under the SARS panel. The federal government has distributed more relief materials to no fewer than 400 internally displaced households and their host communities in Zamfara State. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, flagged off the distribution of items along with free medical outreach for the IDPs in Guzo. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
Unguwar Dambaba Tsunami is a popular community situated at the outskirts of Gusau, which accommodates a large number of the internally displaced persons from across Zamfara state and beyond. This is the latest package of relief materials comprising food and non-food items delivered to the IDPs and their host communities by the federal government through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development Sadia Umar Farouk, who launched the distribution of the items to no fewer than 400 households, says more of such assistance is in the offing, and the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari remains committed to improving the well-being of the IDPs and other vulnerable groups across the country.
This is a message from President Muhammadu Buhari. He directed me to come and present the relief materials to you. I implore you to make judicious utilization of the items and to avoid the temptation of selling them out.
The distribution of the relief materials goes simultaneously with a free medical outreach, including eye surgery for at least 1,000 patients, even as the federal government has renovated and equipped a community clinic in the area.
We thank God and appreciate the federal government for its concern to the plight of the IDPs and other less privileged. This intervention would not have come at a better time.
We are most grateful. May Almighty Allah reward them abundantly.
The minister has also inaugurated a renovated and equipped library for children of the IDPs and their host community under the program tagged Project Educate All. She expressed confidence that the library will boost the morale of the pupils and improve their academic performance. Meanwhile, the event was used to electronically capture data of the IDPs for effective planning. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And the federal government has directed immediate closure of the bridge linking to Gada, Sarkin Kogi in Bebeji local government area of Kano State to avert further flood-induced disasters. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu gave the directive during a joint assessment visit to Tiga Dam. Yahanasu Hassan has details.
Water, a source of life. This is the reverse of that reality. Prolonged hours of torrential rains over many days have caused this extra large Tiga Dam in Kano to spill over its contents. That came with disastrous consequences as roads, hundreds of farmlands under cultivation, houses and sundry other assets across neighboring communities got washed away by the flooding waters. 65-year-old Suwaiba Haruna is among the victims. Beside materials loss, she is scared by the excess flow, which she said is her first experience of that magnitude. She pleads with the government to come to their aid. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu directed for the immediate closure of the linkage bridge to dam to prevent further damage.
Two things to address. First of all, we have to address the damage that has been done, and then also address the issue of loss of income and property by people. Thank God, so far we have not received any report of lives being lost.
In it, there is no repair that can be done on the road now until when the water subsides.
While at Bagauda, the minister also advised Kano State government to monitor the dam to prevent collapse. In Kano, Yahanasu Hassan, NTA News.
Being one of the states in the country predicted to experience flooding this season, the Adamawa state government has put in more measures to minimize losses through campaigns, especially at flood-prone areas. Afiniki Emmanuel reports that many areas in Jimeta, Yola and other local government areas were already affected, hence the campaign by the state government.
Residents of Yola, the Adamawa state capital, woke up to the early morning rainfall with its devastating effects. The affected areas include Yoldepati Sabon Pegi, Tashan Sani and Yibango Army Barracks Road, among others, with houses and farmlands submerged. Wilberforce Anazikurin, a resident of Yibango, one of the affected persons, recounting his ordeal as the road leading to his house was flooded.
And there is no way to pass here. It's through fence I pass. I climb ladder before I drop. There is no way at all. If you enter our house now, all the place inside the room itself is occupied with the waters.
We don't have anything now.
We were affected so much.
I lost most of my valuables.
We plead for a government to come for our rescue.
The Executive Secretary, Adamawa State Emergency Management Agency, ATSEMA, Aminu Suleiman says relief materials will soon be disbursed to the affected communities to cushion the effects of the disaster.
Those that have been affected should kindly respond to the request of the government and allow themselves to be evacuated to a safer place.
In Yola, Afiniki Emmanuel, NTA News.
In a bid to ensure free flow of traffic in the nation's capital, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has flagged off the construction of solar and traffic light control signals in the territory. Onoze Yakubu has more.
The project provided by the government of the People's Republic of China is to be executed in 98 major intersections within the nation's capital city. FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, represented by the Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola, notes that the project will add more impetus to the administration's efforts towards building a world-class capital city.
This is an addition to this project. Is an addition to other donor projects which have been of immense benefit to residents of the FCT and further strengthen the cordial relationship between Nigeria and China. So this event, therefore, could not have come at a better time as we seek to ensure ease of traffic and orderliness on our road through the provision of traffic control signals at major road intersections.
I hope this harmony symbol between Nigeria and China, we can unleash a great energy to build a strong relationship.
It will be recalled that the idea for this project was first mooted in 2012 during the 4th Ministerial Conference of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, when the Chinese government assented to the request to help construct solar-powered wireless traffic control signals in the territory. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Pro and vice chancellors of universities are meeting with the leadership of the striking lecturers in a closed-door meeting at the Secretariat of the Committee of Vice Chancellors (CVC). The meeting is part of interventions by the CVC to resolve the lingering ASU strike. Previous meetings between the parties, even with interventions from outside, could not convince the university lecturers to shift ground and return to work. Minister of Education had last week convened a meeting of the Vice Chancellors and Chairmen of their governing councils as yet another effort to resolve the impasse. This is the news desk at 6 and it's broadcast live on NTA News 24. Up ahead, we have politics and more.
This is NTA News 24.
Thanks for staying with us. Infighting within political parties has become a common narrative in Nigeria's political system, causing malcontent among party members. Now, how can the parties put their houses in order before the general elections coming up in the next 5 months? These are the talking points for political actors who were guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
Defections, suspensions of party members, court cases, mudslinging. These are some of the crises rocking most political parties in Nigeria, especially during build-ups to major elections. Political parties are a reflection of the society, says the spokesperson of the PDP presidential candidate, and as such, conflicts are to be expected. For him, resolving these crises is, however, why several organs exist within the party. Adebayo Shitu of the APC holds a different opinion as he believes all is well within his political party.
But even in the midst of such codification of how individuals are to act or how they are to relate, you still see people going against those rules. And when that happens, you now have some form of mechanism. In the case of political parties, you have different organs that gets involved in resolving those crises.
Happily, we don't have that within APC. We don't have it. There's nobody tearing APC apart. We had a very successful, free, fair, and acceptable, national convention.
Is the presidential system of government a recipe for wranglings within political parties? This seems to be the conviction of another PDP stalwart, Dr. Baraka Sani.
Party supremacy is weakened by the presidential system of government because of the aspect of the rule of law, freedom, the equality before the law. So anybody can take the party up to the Supreme Court and they can defy the party and nothing happens. We need to restore party discipline.
The clock is ticking and only time will tell how the parties will rise above the wranglings ahead of the general elections. Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC says it is working on uniting all aggrieved members of the party in the build-up to the 2023 general elections so as to ensure victory of the party at the polls. And National Vice Chairman, North Central Zone of the party, Muazu Mohammed Bawa, stated this in Lafia during a reconciliatory meeting with stakeholders of the party. Aliyu Tijani reports.
5 months to 2023 general elections in Nigeria, and the All Progressives Congress APC says it is leaving nothing to chance in reconciling party members aggrieved with the outcome of primaries so as to go into the elections as a united family. APC National Vice Chairman North Central Zone, Muazu Mohammed Bawa, is reaching out to aggrieved party members in his zone.
Is to interact, hear from you people, what are we doing and what do we need to improve upon? If there are areas that we need to improve upon, please, we want to hear them.
While in Nasarawa State, he meets Governor Abdullahi Sule and also engages party stakeholders on the need to put the interest of the party above self, as he emphasized that the party cannot go into next year election with divided interests.
But one thing that I want you to do is to use the opportunity now that you are meeting all these people here, to discuss with them so they will know the reality.
Although Governor Abdullahi Sule earlier set up a reconciliatory committee which has already submitted its report, outcome of the meeting is expected to address issues raised by aggrieved party members before the 2023 general elections. In Lafia, Aliyu Tijani, NTA News.
Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Council and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakulalong, has received Senator Oluremi Tinubu, wife of the APC presidential candidate, as Siwaju Bola Tinubu, and Hajia Nana Kashim Shatima, wife of his running mate, at the Tinubu campaign headquarters in Abuja. In a statement from Dr. Makut Simon Macham, Director of Press and Public Affairs to the Governor of Plateau State and DG APC Presidential Campaign Council, the DG, who met the wife of the presidential candidate and his running mate behind closed doors in the company of the Secretary of APC Presidential Campaign Council, James Faleke, Assistant Secretary Christopher Tafa, and Chief of Staff to the Director General, Yakubu Detti, said the visit is part of the engagement and consultations towards a successful campaign for the victory of APC in the 2023 general elections. Senator Oluremi Tinubu informed the Director General that they were at the headquarters to strategize on the participation of women in the forthcoming campaigns, in line with the decision of the APC to carry all women along by ensuring that they play a greater role in delivering the presidential candidate and other candidates of the party. She also intimated Governor Lalong of the ongoing mobilization of various women support groups for Tinubu Shatima, as well as engagement, particularly at the grassroots, which will prove very crucial to the victory of the APC during the elections. Governor Lalong welcomed the team, or that welcomed them to the Tinubu Shetima campaign headquarters, assured them that the APC Presidential Campaign Council is working with their Siwaju Bola Tinubu, having put in place a plan for a robust campaign that will deeply involve women and youth. Meanwhile, stakeholders at a strategic meeting acknowledged the role of All Progressives Congress aimed at encouraging women participation in the pre-election processes. Sali Ogwanara reports.
Even though women's participation in Nigeria's political space is decreasing, stakeholders here say these should not be allowed to discourage their participation in politics. Instead, it should be seen as a challenge to motivate the women to be outstanding when given opportunity to serve. This forum provides opportunity for women politicians of APC extraction to share experiences.
And there are a lot of women doing a lot of things and doing very well in politics now. And I believe that, if we have the opportunity to mentor some of them, we'll do that. We are there to advise them, we are there to work with them, and to hold their hands also and make sure that they succeed.
Here, when preparedness meets opportunity, you hear people saying that there is result. It's that preparedness we're working on right now. And as we build the capacity of APC female candidates to walk into the election, we are dead sure that we are coming out victorious.
So I'm very happy for this workshop because it's been very helpful to help us as candidates to know where we have loopholes we can fill and where we can do better.
We all know that the 35% affirmative action has not been fully implemented, and with people like us in office, we believe that we can uplift other younger women.
It was a collective decision here that women have much more to offer in Nigeria's democratic processes. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Meanwhile, 5 months to the 2023 elections, the African Democratic Congress ADC has presented certificate of return to more than 450 candidates of the party contesting in the National Assembly elections next year. While some are contesting senatorial elections, others are for the House of Representatives. National chairman of the party, Ralph Nwosu, expresses satisfaction over the turnout of candidates to fly the party's flag and says the party is optimistic of victory at the polls.
A passing phase. We have evolved to become one of the leading parties in Nigeria. It took very hard work in those parties, but by God will give us the grace to overcome this. But I can assure all of us, it's better that we deal with the monster at this time. We still have 5 months to the election. We must deal with whatever monster that has come to disturb us this time, and the moment we do it, people who are running for national offices, for state offices, will still have up to 5 months.
We are well prepared. ADC is well prepared for the elections in 2023. The fact that there is 1 or 2 misunderstandings and there does not reduce being prepared.
ADC Chairman, Board of Trustees Dr. Manir Ahmed, who presented the certificates to the candidates, urges them to mobilize grassroots support for the party. You're watching the news at desk at 6 here on NTA News 24. A quick recap of our top stories. Federal Executive Council approves joint venture company to supply 15% of vaccines to Nigerians. National Human Rights Commission awards monetary compensation to victims of human rights violations. Director General APC Presidential Campaign Council receives wife of APC presidential candidate and wife of running mate at the Tinubu campaign headquarters in Abuja. Well, that concludes the news desk at 6 here on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. Remember to join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. I am Anne Jibuno.